I learned something today. One of the biggest regrets that older people have is that they didn't take more risk. And what I mean by that is they didn't start that business they've always wanted to start. They didn't maybe learn the instruments they've always wanted to learn. They didn't travel the world. And maybe they didn't even ask that girl out that they've always wanted to ask. It's as simple as that. Risks, like the reasons we don't do stuff is because of that, because of risk. And the thing about risk is we don't take it obviously because we're afraid of failing. And most times you shouldn't be. And the thing about risk is that you already take it every single day. I mean, think about it. Whenever you say, this is something I used to do too. Whenever I used to play video games a lot of times today, during COVID, I used to play 8 hours a day, right? And, I risked my future. I risked not being the person I want to be. And, this could be with you too. I mean, there's a lot of things that we do that hinder what we think or hinder what we're going to be when we're older. And, obviously you want to be amazing when we're older and want to have all these different things. But I mean, that's the thing. A lot of the times we have to work for them and we have to risk for them. And that's the thing about risk. We don't want to risk, afraid of something bad happening. And, risk could even be as simple as not raising your hand in class because maybe you're afraid to get laughed at, I guess. But that's the thing. With a risk, especially like that, I mean, say if you say something dumb, right? I mean, that's the main thing we're afraid of. Then, I mean, we're afraid of everyone laughing at us, right? But I mean, think of how many times you've heard someone say something dumb. How many times do you remember that? Probably none, right? Except if it's like maybe your close friend, because I mean, that always makes up for a good story. But I mean, really, how many times do you remember that? And think about when you do it. I mean, you're afraid of doing it, but do you remember anyone who's done it as well? Probably not, right? So you shouldn't be worried about it. Not everyone's going to be focused on you. You have to be, obviously you're going to be focused on you because, well, you're you. And obviously everyone wants to feel important. And, thinking that everyone is focusing on us is not uncommon. And, it's not uncommon either to be like, oh, well, I'm afraid everyone laughing at me, so I'm not going to say this. Because, I mean, our ancestors, we required like approval from other people, and we needed to be, I guess, how do I put this? I guess we needed to, like, other people basically place value on us. Like our value is based on how they valued us. Sorry. But really what I mean is that a lot of our importance we base on and how people value us. That's what I want to say. But I mean, sometimes you have to fight that instinct. Because when you want to accomplish things you've never done before, you have to do things you've never done before. And that's what the quote said in the beginning as well. And that comes from someone who was one of the presidents and worked really hard to get there. Obviously there's a risk of it not happening, but sometimes you have to accept that risk, right? And that's the thing. If you take action on the things you want now, it'll really help out in the future. I mean, think of Lionel Messi. He started playing soccer when he was 4 or 5, and now he's the best in the world because he started when he was so young. And usually the professionals of anything they do, they start the earliest. They have the most time to work on being better. And especially if you're young, that's why you should take action, because time basically compounds the skill you have in the future. And what I mean by that is basically today this is you. You get maybe like, I'm gonna put this in a good way that my coach said one time. Not my coach, my teacher said. He said, if you get 1% better every day, that's basically compounding every day. And you obviously, if you don't know, that's about 39 times a year. Maybe 37, I'm not sure exactly. But that's besides the point. What you shouldn't worry about is what other people think. Because that's also another thing that older people say that they shouldn't have done. They put too much value in what others thought of them. And sometimes you have to basically remind yourself that these are my goals, not theirs. So I have to be laser focused on the things I want to do. And it's easier said than done, obviously. But once you start focusing on the things you want to do, that's when you'll start realizing change. Even right now, I'm risking messing up. Because I'm going off script too. I had a whole script ready. But I mean, I wanted to prove that with risk, it can happen anywhere. And just by trying, you can get really far ahead. Maybe in like a few years, maybe I'll have like a few million subscribers, I don't know. But by starting now, you'll be ahead of a lot of people, especially if you're young. So maybe if you like, maybe you can join this journey with me, and maybe we can both start things together. So let's do this. Come on. You got this.